What I'm looking for in a bank is one that's looking out for me, like NBT. I want a relationship and a team that supports me in my dreams. And when life gets challenging, I need a bank that's focused on what matters. Not to mention one that's been top rated by Forbes in trust, customer service, financial advice, and more. That's why when it comes to meeting my banking needs, it's always NBT. Learn more at nbtbank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Welcome and thanks for tuning in. This is Tom Hickey from 2020 Media, and you are listening to NBT Bank's On the Scene podcast, where we reach over 250,000 readers, 250,000 readers of the Jewish Ledger, weha.com, West Hartford Magazine, live 24/7, 365. And today we're doing something that we don't usually do, but I'll let Bob Carr fill you in and talk to you about that. Hey, Bob, good morning.
Good morning, Tom. So we're going to talk about ourselves this morning. Give us and about many anniversaries that are coming up for the various products that Tom Hickey has and weha.com. So Tom,
don't change the channel, right? They gotta listen up so they know we'll be quick, but they need to know the important things coming up.
Exactly right. So Tom, myself, Kosi McCarty, and Ryan Newton is the founder and owner of weha.com. Tom and 2020 Media bring to West Hartford the Jewish Ledger, West Hartford Magazine, which is West Hartford's original lifestyle magazine. Various tastes of West Hartford, the best of West Hartford, which we'll be discussing in a little while. It has its 10th anniversary coming up. Our podcast is assembled by and posted by the Modern Observer Group of Middletown, Connecticut. And we have no guests today. Our guests today are ourselves.
Yeah, that's right. So if we mess up, we can only blame ourselves, right? That's it.
Right. So the first thing we're chatting about today is so weha.com is coming up on its 10th anniversary in September. And we're planning a taste of West Hartford along with our 10th anniversary on 9/9, which is almost exactly 10 years to the day that we had started. And so I want to give everybody a little background here. About 10 years ago, AOL Patch kind of pulled the plug on covering West Hartford exclusively. Ryan Newton, Kosi McCarty came to Tom and chatted with him about taking the West Hartford Magazine in a different direction, which didn't really happen. Set up a separate business, weha.com, and I was invited along for that ride, which I really greatly appreciated. So
couldn't have done it without you, Bob. Now come on, don't be so mild.
Thank you.
Bob handles all the business stuff. It's like all the stuff we should not be handling, right?
That's exactly right. Well, it's been fun. So we started off basically at zero. And slowly built the brand, and a lot of it has to do with frankly, the folks who lived in West Hartford at the time and worked in West Hartford at the time. So Tom, Ronnie, and Kosik all put a lot of effort in to get the word out. Amazingly, we went from like zero to a couple thousand, viewers in a few weeks, and then thousands more as time went on. Got to be well known, and right now, as of just a few months ago, the last time I looked at statistics, we don't want to get too wrapped up in that stuff. We get almost 200,000 unique visitors every month to weha.com. So that's 200, and to put that in perspective, there are 65,000 people living in West Hartford. So that everybody in West Hartford, plus their children, plus their would have to look at the site. We'd only have 65,000. Yeah. So weha.com has become a news source for the greater Hartford area. And that's just been a lot of diligence obviously on Ronnie's part, but on everyone's part to keep the product from being a news site first and worrying about the other stuff second. So, pat ourselves on the back for that. So that's our 10th anniversary, which we're really excited about. It's hard for anyone to be in business. I think the average, I don't remember the numbers. Businesses normally fail in the first year and a 5-year mark. We've made it 10. And now the cool part about the 10 is when we started WeHa, Tom started Best of West Hartford. So, which has
great segue. I love it.
So tell us a little bit. Tell us a little bit how.
I wish I could say it was our idea. Like most ideas, it was borrowed or stolen from our friend Jonathan Mothley down in Fairfield County. Mothley Media does basically all the Gold Coast, Greenwich, Westport, Fairfield magazines. And they put together, they've been doing it, of course, for 50 some odd years, but they put together an event where they basically celebrate the town. And really, Bob, it was sort of funny because when we first started talking about it, we said, my goodness, if we can't make a Best of West Hartford work, and we're supposedly all about West Hartford, then nobody can, a little bit. So we started, again, not knowing, what was going to happen because it had never been done before. So the public had to be invited to vote. Then we had to, which we still religiously do, make it a People's Choice Awards. Really is what this is. This isn't, and many best ofs are, but ours is not. The publisher's favorite advertisers, or the person who spends the most money. It really is all about getting out the vote. And it's really been very interesting to watch over the last 10 years. We'll talk a lot more about this as we get closer, to the event. But some people have retained their titles, for 7-8 years, and that's not an easy thing to do, because you have to get the vote out. And I'll tell one quick story because it was a new business in town 3 years ago who said, geez, there's no way that this is a legitimate, best of, event, because I know 100 people who voted for me, so there were at least 100. And in this particular category, and really sort of an average across the board, but in this particular category, I won't say it was the business category. I won't say specifically what it was because you'll probably figure out who it is. but we you really need about 1,000 votes, not 100. So
Wow.
it's really gained that much popularity, with the public and bragging rights, really, because if you start now 10 years later, really it started at about 5 years, but certainly now you look at people's websites, I was just looking at the new format for a product in town, and there were little bullets, the little Best of West Hartford bullet that are now in ads, because people are proud of having accomplished, becoming just nominated, let alone winning, for those categories. So we will have a special event for the 10th anniversary, as we always do. But I would love to just talk real quickly about an exciting idea that we had. And I wish I could say this was my idea, but it wasn't. Kelly Stengel, who owns Arthur Murray Dance, approached us and said, geez, I think you need to do something to just be different, for the 10th anniversary. And she came up with the idea of bringing a Dancing with the Stars, a local VIP sort of celebrity, event. So at the Best of West Hartford, we don't have all the details, etched out yet, but we'll let you know as soon as we do. But what we do have is we have almost 10 dancers. It'll be 10 dancers, but people like our editor from WeHa.com, Ronnie Newton, Dennis House from Channel 8, our mayor, Sherry Cantor, Eric Feeney, from Friends of Feeney. So we have a lot of really exciting people who will draw a crowd and a lot of attention to this special 10th anniversary season. So we're hoping not only will it be a regular voting process, which the voting will take place in the month of September this year, and then tallied, and put together in the month of October. The event will be on Monday, November 4th, which is the day before the election. And that, we've tried all kinds of different dates, but Bob, that's the date that seems to work the best for everybody, which I actually thought would be the opposite. People would be too busy, but I think people like to be seen and like to be out one more time before the election, or something. So it seems to work well. So that's what we'll do. So watch for details on that.
That's 10 years in on Best of West Hartford and WeHa.com. We'll take a quick break and we'll come back in a second.
WeHa.com, West Hartford's best news source. WeHa.com covers West Hartford and only West Hartford. Find us and subscribe to the WeHa.com newsletter for free. Log on to we-ha.com. That's we-ha.com. We have it all in West Hartford.
And we're back.
All right. That's great.
So we have I mentioned earlier, so Tom Hickey started living in West Hartford 25 years ago. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. It's hard to believe when I'm only 29, right?
Exactly, right. And
That's a good thing. It's a good thing this is a podcast and there's no video.
that's right. You can lie about you can lie about our ages. Um, so 25 years ago, it was a printed magazine. It was the only way to distribute it. It was printed and mailed. I was lucky enough to be the printer for, at the time, living in West Hartford, and then we did Living in the Valley and the Shoreline. We did Tom broke off a bunch of other products at that point in time, and built out the magazine over the 25 years, and has created a very strong product that has documented the history of West Hartford through its lifestyle product. So talk to us a little bit about the 25 years and how you enjoy Taylor.
Yeah, hard to believe that it's been 25 years, and it's a great segue for me to mention, Joy, because one of the things I remember initially when we first did this, wow, this is such a great idea and such a great magazine because it's an easy read with a glass of wine. And I just thought to myself, it has held true to that for 25 years. It really is. We are the good news media anyway, so that's really, all about celebrating our community and celebrating wonderful things that we have, going on. But again, as Bob said earlier at the beginning of this, podcast, 1-year anniversaries and 5-year anniversaries, are exciting, enough, but 10 and 25 are just really unheard of. So we're really proud. And there's two simple things that I need to leave everybody with. We would not have this product if we didn't have loyal advertisers. When you look through our advertisers in this magazine over the course of the last 25 years, you see the same people, Luxbond and Green, Robin Gebrian, Jeff Hodges, French Cleaners, Modern Tire. You see people who have been with us from day one. And really, it takes a lot, to a lot of expense to, write stories and come up with great. I hope you love the artwork on the cover. That's what we switched maybe 5 years ago, I think, Bob, to artwork. Whenever Delamar opens, because the magazine used to be in every room at Delamar, and Delamar had a relationship with New Britain Museum. I think they still do, and we featured some of that art because we just got done featuring New Britain Museum, with them. So anyway, I could go on and on and on about 25 years, but it's been wonderful. And thank you to all of our loyal advertisers and supporters. And the second thing is prior to COVID, which had changed, we had a very loyal subscription base. We actually had a subscription club, where people just sent, money into us to have their name, listed in every issue, almost like a playbill. That has not gone away. That will rear its, itself again as we move into the future. But the one thing that has been very different is that we used to be very targeted, where we would mail to only homes with household income in excess of 150,000. I think it went down to 100,000. But one of the things, again, a loyal advertiser, John Green, shared with us was, we don't care, who buys a Rolex as long as they buy it from Luxbond, in that sense. So if it's 100,000 readers or 1 million readers, because they can do it online and they can, be directed to the website. As you click on every ad that's in the magazine, it takes you directly to the website, for that advertiser. It has made a huge difference. So we hope that we will continue to do things. If you had asked me 6 months ago if we'd be talking about this on a podcast, I would have said, "What's a podcast?" So, so who knows, what will be next, 6 months down the road. But whatever it is, I can assure you, we will deliver it to you, and we will make West Hartford proud.
Excellent. So on the magazine side, I remember memory back down memory lane with when you talked about this once before, when you had weddings and your own son's Garrett's wedding, and then weddings now where you used to have to go gather up a bunch of magazines and then mail them out. Where now it's just easy enough to take the story out of the magazine, copy the URL, and send it off, so that the distribution is can be national or international depending on who's reading it, the storyline, the stories, and how they're being shared, which is, I think, just speaks volumes to where we are digitally, where the news is, where products like your magazine are. and having loyal readership. Because that's the one thing that's difficult to build now. You don't have, you kind of built it pre the internet age, really. I mean, early on, and then and then having that loyal readership that continues to take to get the subscription or get the magazine, and then be able to share it. Whereas if you started today, it'd be very difficult to build that audience.
I couldn't agree more. Absolutely. Yeah, it's funny because many people, my wife included, misses the hard copy, as I always used to say to people, worthy of a corner of your coffee table, but I think if we had tried, Bob, to do it the other way, be online first, it's, as you said, it's extremely difficult to do. So people, are familiar with our products and our quality. We would like to, again, no promises here, but we would like to get back to some kind of an annual, printed piece, just so that it can sit on your coffee table, for a long time, which will be fun. So stay tuned for that. You'll never know.
So now from 10 years and 10 years to 25 years to 95 years.
Oh my God.
So
I still just can't wrap my head around this.
Ledger Publications, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's the 95th anniversary of the Jewish Ledger, and boy, there'll be some special things that we're going to talk about. Judy Jacobson and Hillary Pasternak Saracen, who are the two key instrumental people involved with us with Jewish Ledger. It will be very special and very unique to see. I don't know. Who knows? There might be a new look to a website. There might be a new look to, there's all kinds of fun things that we're talking about. But one thing is for sure, that obviously it is cause to celebrate. And even though, there is a lot going on, in the world, and we won't get political a little bit, but, there's still, great reason to be proud and to celebrate not only, a Jewish product, but any business, any product that has been around for 95 years. It's just absolutely amazing.
Well, absolutely. I mean, the 95 years is multiple lifetimes, right? Multiple, it's multiple generations. Maybe one person's lifetime, but it's definitely multiple generations. And to be able to maneuver through that over the decades, through the Depression and World War II, and Korea and Vietnam, and the upheavals of this, of all that time frame. You're looking at it, 1920, so it basically started right around the time of the Depression, 1929, 1930, which is. And the chances of success at that point have got to be minimal, and have succeeded at that point. This long has been great. Looking forward to that. We don't have a date yet for a 95th anniversary, as I chatted about. One thing we have to thank for our podcast is to thank NBT Bank, which I think we forgot at the beginning of our.
I hope I snuck that in there. Oh boy, they're going
to be. Make sure I say it now. NBT Bank, who's the sponsor of our podcast, and we really appreciate their efforts on our behalf and being part of what we're doing here in West Hartford.
Bob, if you don't mind me saying, a little bit of marketing coming from me, but I really think that speaks volumes to the type of people that are in this community and who we've been working with. NBT is the sponsor of Business Buzz, with WeHa.com. They're a sponsor of this podcast, in a little bit. And, there are businesses who could open up, in West Hartford and be new and have nothing to do with us. There are, a little bit, but, so we appreciate and we acknowledge, and really, we'll do anything that we can do to help the people who help us.
That's for sure. So, again, for anyone, our folks, we have a lot of listeners out there, and I'm always surprised when someone contacts me and says, listen to your podcast, or one of our advertisers. She was in her store, and the gentleman was driving by, heard her on our podcast, and saw her store and just drove in and bought a cake, actually. So that was so cool.
I still say that, Bob, even about social media. I'm like, really? 10,000 people they care about what we say?
But it's which I think it's important that you bring the information to the public that's interesting to them. So hopefully you're gonna have a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun. The 10th anniversary WeHa.com on 9/9, along with the Taste of West Hartford, which Tom is putting together. Just tremendous job with the tastes. If anybody's been to those in the past, they have been amazing events. Then there'll be the 10th anniversary of Best of West Hartford, which we're gonna have fun with Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah.
We have the 25th anniversary of West Hartford Magazine, and the 95th anniversary of the Connecticut Jewish Ledger. And Tom Hickey's involved with all that. So let's just give Tom a quick round of applause.
It's too bad there's not much going on. We're really.
And I want to. So thanks for Tom being on today. Hope for people enjoyed this and look forward to each of our events that are popping up in the fall and then through the winter. And we'll look forward to seeing you at any and all of those events. Anything else, Tom?
I was just going to say, we look forward to seeing you on the scene. Right, there we go. Thanks again. Goodbye, everyone.
What I'm looking for in a bank is one that's looking out for me, like NBT. I want a relationship and a team that supports me in my dreams. And when life gets challenging, I need a bank that's focused on what matters. Not to mention one that's been top rated by Forbes in trust, customer service, financial advice, and more. That's why when it comes to meeting my banking needs, it's always NBT. Learn more at nbtbank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.